Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for taking the time to sit down together to discuss a rather important matter. I do appreciate you all taking the time to sit down and discuss appropriate PPE usage and awareness. And I know WHS is it's not everyone's cup of tea, and you've all made the effort to be here and help out, so I do appreciate that. So I'll start by thanking you all for your assistance and time, but now let's have a look and see at the received memo that you'd have just been given about what we're going to discuss in this meeting. And I'd like just to clarify that the underlying main point of this meeting, you've probably all noticed that within our workplace there has been a concern about the usage and awareness of personal protective equipment throughout the organisation. And I've invited you all here today just so as to brainstorm and discuss some key ideas on how we can improve awareness of using PPE in the workplace. And also to see if we can come up with some new ways to encourage others as well, and see if we can get them thinking of a more safe work kind of environment as well.
I think it's safe to say that we're all on board with this one. Even I can attest to the benefits of using PPE. I know for myself sometimes I can get a bit lax with the rules, but it's great to be a part of a team that addresses making a stronger PPE awareness.
I'll be the first to put my hand up and say that I don't always use PPE when I should. I know I should do better.
Well, thanks, Ryan. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kate, as well. I do greatly appreciate those thoughts, and I've had some similar expressions from Sharon as well. I think we all in agreement that PPE awareness could use a bit of advertising, a bit of polishing as well, help us all to improve, really. And I want to stress that this meeting isn't targeting anyone individually. We are talking about improving PPE awareness for everyone, including ourselves. And the best way to do that is to cook up some ideas that everyone can benefit from, not just us. So I thought a good way to start this off, our session, is to have a brief look at our use of personal protective equipment procedure. Now, you've all been sent a copy. Now, I think this may help us get ourselves in the right frame of mind for this discussion. I've attached a copy of the procedure to this meeting invitation, so if you'd all like to take a look specifically at a few key points. Now, we know what PPE is used for. We do this every day, but there's two things I want to hone in on first. Looking at the scope of this procedure, it says there, this procedure applies to all employees, contractors and visitors to Gelos Enterprises. Now, I'm only bringing this point to the forefront, to the attention of you, is because this procedure targets everyone, not just individuals, everyone. So, with our thoughts in mind today, I'd like you all to take into consideration how others feel about PPE, and along with your own feelings, but also how we can support everyone in our session today. The second thought I wanted to glean here was from point 4.4, if you look down a little bit, where it says workers must comply with the WHS legislation and the requirements of this procedure. Now, unfortunately, like Kate mentioned, there can be a bit of a lax attitude around here when it comes to putting on PPE, even if it's just a low-risk environment. But what we're aiming to do today is to think of how we can really boost everyone's feelings, opinions, and awareness of the use of PPE. Because at the end of the day, it's for everyone's benefit, and I'm certain everyone here can see that. What do you think about the current use of PPE procedure? Guidelines. What do you think about this procedure?
I value that thought. Working in my team requires people looking out for each other at all times. And personal protective equipment is just another means of looking out for my colleagues. The procedure is a little dry though. It doesn't instill confidence.
I like your attitude, Ryan, and I thank you for joining us and helping your team as well. And I'm certain you'll give us a unique perspective on things here, I'm sure. I agree the procedure is a little dry, but it does outline the importance of being vigilant with our PPE usage. It helps us and to see that it's everyone's responsibility to use PPE. Not that we can really change the procedure, but if you could, what would you change about it if you could?
Well, I'd like to see some supporting documentation attached to the procedure and with links that'll let me find useful information for training and accountability.
Well, very nice. I think that's a good idea. Maybe we could pass that along with our suggestions and see what we get back from human resources. So, how does everyone feel about the organisation's awareness of PPE? Do you think that the workplace has good PPE awareness?
Definitely not. I see people every day just walking around without their high-vis vests on. I think they're just asking for an accident to happen.
I have similar feelings. While as a whole I think our team could do better, I see some people doing the right thing, but I also see some people not doing the right thing. I may even walk the line at times. We do need to beef up our awareness factor.
Well, thank you for your honest views. I'd have to say I have a similar outlook on the situation. Seems we are all on the same page here today. How would any of you raise PPE awareness in the area that you're working in?
Well, I'd like to see more posters up on the walls with signage detailing the importance of wearing PPE in specific work zones. I already know we have signage up, but it could definitely use a bit more of a makeover to stand out a little bit more.
Well, that's a great suggestion, Kate. I'll make a note of that right now, and you're right. Our signage is looking a little old, a little worn in some areas. Fresh coat of paint would do wonders, and amplifying the message as well. What about you, Sharon? What do you think?
Well, I'm a stickler for having a decent training session. You know, those hands-on kind of meetings where people are taught to use the right tools for the job. A session that'll get us away from the books and shows us the practical value of putting on our vests, gloves, glasses and the like.
I'm all on board for that. It's a great thought. I think we can already agree that training like that is always beneficial and it really keeps people engaged with what they are learning. An engaged mind is one that remembers what they are learning, so they aren't going to forget it. So Sharon, you're more interested in, or more invested I should say, in the informal side of training. What do you think of various informal training methods should be like? For instance, shadowing someone or team leaders or one-on-one sessions to let them the information really sink into their minds. Do you think that those kind of strategies would work?
I wholeheartedly think those kind of sessions will work. I particularly like the idea of one-on-one sessions. We do that kind of training for new employees. Why not do it for existing employees too? I know it'd help me be a little bit more proactive.
A fantastic thought, Sharon. I've taken note of that. Another good suggestion. What about you, Brian? Any feelings on PPE training?
I think that's a great idea. I personally like the hands-on stuff too, but it doesn't hurt to have everything in a more proper formal training session too. People need to know the regulations and reasons behind the use of PPE.
Great. From your perspective, how would you make those kind of sessions more engaging?
Well, in all honesty, most people just try and skip to the end of the training and just bang through the quiz at the finish to get through the training as quick as possible. So why not add some interactive elements to it, like tutorial videos that have a stop and answer of the scenario questions, or taking a video of yourself conducting safe work practices. I don't know, just something a little different.
Yep, something different is what we're looking for. I think it's worth putting that idea forth. While we're on the thought of engaging training material, do you have any thoughts there, Kate?
Well, like Ryan said, most people have been here a little while and they just skip to the end of the training. So why don't we run maybe a 6-monthly workshop on finding better ways to follow our safety protocols and implementing PPE in the workplace? You never know, someone might come up with a great idea on making something safer.
Well, workshops are a great idea. It also provides a secure environment for people to suggest new ideas for PPE usage, and it would definitely bring everyone's awareness levels to the forefront of their mind. We could also implement this workshop into our refresher courses as well. That way it's not too stale for long-term employees, and that might find some decent value, I should say, to their work-life circumstances. Excellent recommendations, everyone. I really do appreciate it. I think we have some good ideas here, and I'm certain that it will be well received by all. Thinking to the future, though, if we manage to implement even just half of these recommendations, how do you think we could help others to retain this PPE knowledge so that it stays with them, so to speak? What kind of reminders do you think are practical and useful?
Well, that's just it, Levi. I think we need to send out regular reminders for people to work safely. Maybe we could send out regular information sheets or PPE related emails that prompt people to remain PPE focused.
Well, that's good. We could send out a regular information alerts about PPE in different areas of the organisation. Going with that thought, maybe we could send out a safety email every fortnight to every month about a different topic of some kind in PPE awareness. For instance, like Sharon mentioned earlier, a prompt to reminder to wear high-vis vests in key areas in the facility. We write that notice and then include mud maps of which areas require vest wearing. That's always good. Visual contact for people. That way people have a written and visual notice, and that should help everyone trying to remember a bit better.
Well, I'm happy to put my hand up for that assignment. It helped shake up my work routine a little bit.
More than happy to nominate you along with that submission, Kate. Does anyone have any other thoughts?
What about making sure that workers take more ownership of their PPE gear? Some people are pretty rough with their protective equipment and they damage it or they misplace it altogether. So maybe we could have some kind of a campaign about no work without PPE or something to that effect.
That seems like a good way to advertise it out there, and it's a practical suggestion. Reality of the matter is that no one should be working in unsafe areas without PPE. We could evolve that campaign and have all team leaders, supervisors, managers give safety toolbox meetings around proper PPE usage. We might even be able to have marketing do us a nice digital flyer to spread around between all the branches and bring awareness to PPE. Campaign is a great idea and it should grab people's attention. Nice one there, Ryan. Does anyone else have any ideas that they would like to mention? No? Okay, well, thank you all so much for providing so many good ideas. I'll have my hands full compiling all this into one report. I really hope that everyone here found some value in what we're discussing around PPE. Just know that this will help everyone in our team, and I hope that it's brought you some renewed confidence in your awareness of PPE usage in the workplace as well. I've just forwarded you a feedback form that relates to this meeting, hoping to gather some of your thoughts. I'm certain it would be very helpful in planning future awareness for personal protective equipment throughout our entire teams. Feel free to make any additional suggestions or thoughts involving PPE on the form there itself. Even make suggestions on how you feel this meeting went, if it was beneficial to you or not, and if there's any other way the meeting could have been improved. I'd love to hear it. Thank you all for your time. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.